All right, check, check, check. I'm live. It's been a minute since I've been live. Probably a month. The last live was after I did the microdose on shrooms, and it. Let me just set this up real quick. I don't need to see that. That's good. And it feels good. It feels good. Only because I've kind of been channeling. Excuse me. My energy elsewhere, and just really been focusing on TikTok. TikTok found a nice space and medium in there for just being myself, being one version of myself rather, right? There's different layers to who I am, but the content I've kind of been putting out on TikTok is more so everything I've been wanting to do consistently. I've been doing it consistently for about 2 to 3 weeks now. I took like Friday and yesterday off. So the title "Wake Up" is the culmination of this past month and these past few weeks and the experiences of these past few weeks. Said I woke up that day. I woke up. I was sleeping. I woke up. Yesterday was like one of the first days where I just crashed. I was on the couch and just relaxed. Wasn't feeling well also. Just like a lot of congestion and runny nose. So instead of just trying to force myself to work and do things, just like, yo, you had a good run. Chill out, enjoy, relax, and enjoy yourself, man. I started watching the Titans on HBO Max. Titans are the next generation of the Justice League. And I've seen the show, like while scrolling on HBO Max, but I've been like, it's whack. I'm not gonna do it. It's whack. I don't need it. It's whack. I was up late one night. Just put it on and just got dragged into the story. It's nice to see I'm a DC guy. I enjoy Marvel for what it is. My favorite Marvel character is Wolverine, just because he's just real about life, right? He's angry, he's bitter, no matter how hard he tries, shit just doesn't go his way. He just want to be left alone. Wolverine just wants to be left alone, man, in peace, right? Dude can't just get a break, and I resonate with that. But the rest of Marvel just feels very kiddie to me. It's dope. I enjoy the storylines. Like, I've enjoyed the Avenger movies. I've gone through a few comic books, but I don't have the dedication to anything Marvel the way I have a dedication to DC and to Batman specifically. Excuse me. DC, Detective Comics, right, is long drawn out logic and it's amazing storytelling behind all of DC. There's a methodical thinking. It's crime fighting, but there's so much more. For me, there's more philosophy. There's more psychology. More of the humanities in DC. It's dark. And I resonate with that. I resonate with the pain and the origin stories of pain, right? So the Titans is following Dick Grayson, who was the original Robin, and he's like a cop in Detroit. and he's given up the suit. He's over it. He's moved on. And it just follows the journey of him just meeting up with other superheroes, other aliens, other people with powers, and trying to let go of the past, trying to heal from the past, trying to move forward from the past, but also knowing that sometimes you can shake it. You can shake the past, but only if you're willing to put yourself out there, be vulnerable, honor yourself, speak your truth. I just finished season 2 earlier today. And yeah, of course, if you it's spoilers, there might be some spoilers, but if you follow DC Comics, you know that Dick Grayson grows up to be Nightwing, right? He sheds the Robin costume, the Robin identity. Jason Todd is the new Robin. Dick Grayson needs to move forward with his life because he didn't have an identity. He spent his entire, up to that point, right? I'm not sure how old he is. Maybe he's in his 20s. But he spent the majority of his life being Robin. More than just a sidekick, right? Robin is more than a sidekick. Sidekick is insulting for the work that he's done, the work that he does. So when you have something to hold on to, when you have an identity to hold on to for 15, 20 plus years, you can't just shake it, right? You can't just let it go. It's still there in you. Like I talk about conditioning, those years of experiences, whether they're good or bad, the life experience you go through, they condition you to live and exist within a certain mind frame. So Dick ends up being a cop in Detroit. And there's just all this pain and anger in him. Right? Just brutal, violent, relentless. Something that most people don't know a characteristic trait that you never see in the younger Robin. But it's great to see what those years have done to the character. And I mean, they're in the comic books, but being able to kind of see them on screen and see it play out, it resonates a lot more. Yeah. Original Titans had a good crew, but it fell apart once one of their team members died and a close friend died. And Dick's just been carrying that pain and trauma with him, right? Carrying these secrets and lies with him throughout all these years. And he's supposed to be the leader. He's supposed to be the leader. He's supposed to be the number one guy. He's the one with the most experience. He is the prodigy of Batman. And regardless of how Superman is portrayed, Batman is the dude. Batman is the real dude because he's the brains behind it all. Superman is an intellect. He's a philosopher. He's dope. He's dope within his own right. But that's why he gets foiled by Lex Luthor, right? Superman is the muscle. Lex Luthor is the brain. So Dick's responsibility as leader is to always keep home together, always keep home stable. But since he isn't right within himself, he can't guarantee, he can't ensure that home will be safe, and home ends up being destabilized. So everyone else is owning who they are, essentially. They know who they are. They're going through their own identity crisis because being back with the group has its own trauma. For the most part, they're okay with who they are and what they've done. Because on their end, there's no fault in their choices, really. some point, Dick Grayson finds himself in prison, or puts himself in prison, right? He was going to escape and go to, I forgot which country. But he was headed on a flight at the airport. He has like a duffel bag with him. Books the flight, pays for it, walks up to an officer and just punches him in the face, starts fighting, and they lock him up. And that's his decision to atone for his sins, to atone for his lies, atone for the pain that he's caused to his friends, to his family. There are a few scenes where he's hallucinating, right? Because he, within himself, I'll rephrase that. He's a lesser version of himself, right? Because the evil has corrupted him, the pain has corrupted him, and he wants to get what he deserves. And since no one is going to put him in his place, he decides to take matters into his own hand, and he believes that prison ends up being his the only way he can kind of atone, right? Is be isolated from it all and just process and figure it out. And throughout his prison stay, he's hallucinating. He sees Bruce Wayne talking to him. And all Bruce Wayne really is in those scenes, just his rational mind. Right? He's replaying scenarios. Like, what did you see? What does that mean? What do you think it means? Because sometimes, right, when we're in the muck, when you're in the depths of it, you don't have the capability to see yourself out. So in those scenes, he uses Bruce Wayne as his own rational mind, right? He personifies Bruce Wayne into his own rational thought, rational being, just to make sense out of what's been going on. And he fights. But at the end, the rational mind wins, right? It has to win. It's supposed to win because his story is a story of a hero. And more than just a hero, right? Not like a superhero. A hero in the terms of someone who does what they need to do, someone who honors themselves, someone who has a mission and purpose in life, right? You can't escape your destiny. His fate is sealed in being a crime fighter. However, right? Like he didn't go from robbing to being a baker, a butcher, right? He became a cop. It's the next logical legal career he could do. He fights his rational mind, and he loses because the rational mind is always should always be superior. Should always take charge and take heed and lead your decision making and lead your skills. And Nightwing is born. If he's finally able to let go of, or rather, after revealing his truths and his secrets and confronting the pain and looking for solace and forgiveness, which he didn't find, right? Everyone said, I can't do this anymore. The team that was newly reformed, everyone left. It was like, yo, can't fuck with you. He went to this woman's house to ask for forgiveness. She said, I don't have it here for you. So he hoped that speaking his truth would be enough, but it wasn't. So he took matters into his own hand, put himself in prison. But it wasn't until he faced his rational mind, right? He sparred, right? You watch it in the show visually, and it's a sparring match between Bruce Wayne and Dick. Of course, Bruce gives him the work, right? So it's another way around it, right? He gets the work. He has to get the work. That's what it is. That's what it is. And he woke up. 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 Had a rebirth. Found a new, maybe even true version of himself. Gets to create his own identity now. Gets to forge his own path. Dick Grayson, that name is dead. That identity is dead, right? The cops are looking for him. But in Nightwing, he can exist. And granted, like I said, I just stopped at season 2. I'm not sure how season 3 is in terms of his identity, but he's doing what he needs to now. He's doing what he's honoring his destiny. He's honoring his path. So watching the series these past 2 days, past week, I kind of spread it out. I'm just thinking about waking up. I was talking to my friend earlier this week. Told her that I tried shrooms, and it's going through it, and it's having these initial thoughts that I've had, but didn't like conceptualize or put into words. So I haven't, and I brought this up in like other clips, but this is like first full-fledged episode. I haven't smoked in I don't know how long. Could be a month, could be 3 weeks, could be more. Not interested. Last year was an everyday affair. Sometimes midday just to feel good. Walk outside, smoke, enjoy, take in the vibrations. Every night, go out for a walk around the block, transition out of the day. And earlier this year, I just kind of slowed down. I think financially is definitely one aspect, just thinking about how much money I spent on it. Any trip is anywhere between like $100, $150. And granted, I space it out, probably go to the Spencer like twice a month. But it adds up, right? When you think about it, all habits add up. But after having that experience on that micro dose, being high is like the equivalent of what drinking feels like. It feels stagnant. It feels limiting. Because I've had this higher experience, right? Like when you're used to filet mignon, it's hard to go back to hamburger helper, baby. That's what Jay-Z said. That's what it feels like, man. Like I have gummies here and there. And it's all right. It's an okay feeling, right? Like I'll have one late at night. Eric and I would just kind of sit down on the couch. And, this puts me to bed. Before I was trying all the different type of strains I could find. And then, like, throughout mostly throughout this year, I just started focusing on that one snow cone strain. because it's gas. I was using it for runs last year and earlier this year. I was using it for creativity. And I don't even want to smoke. I'm running consistently now. Did 8 miles so far. Did 2 4-mile runs this week. Thursday's run was just phenomenal. Just had this breakthrough. I've said once you're able to do 1.25 without stopping, for me it just kind of pushes the movement forward. Puts me on another plateau. You 2.25 without stopping. And then 1.75. They're like a 30-second, really just a 30-second break. I just stopped. So I sunk into my body, just felt how I needed to feel, and then readjusted my breathing, and as it kept moving, 1.75 miles. And that's really the challenge with running, right? You can hit that first straight mile or 1.5 miles, however many miles initially. Can you do it again within that same time frame, right? Can you run 1.5 miles, take a quick break, and then run 1.5 miles again to close out? That's the real test, and that's the real challenge. And I'm getting it. I'm getting back where I need to be. So that running consistently. I mean, like I've created a dope workout plan for the run. So I do 3-week blocks. First 2 weeks, 3 runs each week, and I just have set numbers in mind. And the last week is just conditioning running. So sprinting, I like a flat surface. Not sprinting, but I shave off 20 seconds. I try to shave off 20 seconds from my average pace. So if I'm doing a 10 minute miles for my regular endurance run, the flat race run is about 9:40. I do that to go as far as I can. Take a quick breath, catch my breath, and just push through and just finish up. The next one is running downhill. So it's a nice downhill road with a path. And just do the work, man. Let gravity do its work. Move as fast, as hard as I can. Once I reach the certain point of the downhill where like the road levels out, then I work on going uphill. And I do 3 to 4 runs up with that as fast as I can. And then I do the flat run again. That's it. That's the first block. Now I'm just going to repeat it. So I'm mixing the endurance with the conditioning, get my heart rate up, pushing my muscles, my lungs, my heart a little harder, being more aware and feeling my body more, seeing how different paces feel, seeing how my body reacts and my body moves, what's not working when it comes to running flat versus uphill versus downhill versus a mix of all three. Waking up to myself. Been working out on the squat rack, cross training. Feels good to be awake. I know the smoking causes me to have a buildup of phlegm in my throat, and I don't want that, man. I want to be able to breathe freely. I want to move. So like I bought some sativa gummies instead. I don't really like the way they feel, but I'll keep testing until I find the right one that works for me. Actually, no. So one of the flat runs is me doing it high. And the only reason I'm doing that is because maybe 3 weeks ago, or 2 weeks, 2 weeks ago, I did a high run and I was able to run 1.71 miles without stopping because the weed just relaxes, it allows me to be more present, more focused, so I can run a bit further. So it helps me push the envelope in knowing what I can physically do and knowing that how long I can focus. And from there, I kind of reset my base. So once I was able to do 1.71 miles without stopping, my new set was like, I can do 1.5 miles as my base from now on. No matter what, 1.5 is my limit. And that becomes the new standard. And through that, I did like 2.1 miles without stopping one time, 1.8 miles. I did like a 1.47 before. But like I said, this past week, 2.25 without stopping. I just think about it and I'm out there, man. Think about it and I'm out there. I'm in a micro dosing subreddit. And I use the word interesting, because it's a perspective. It's an interesting perspective to consider. So knowing who I am and how I am, I've talked about the addictive personality. The shrooms did an amazing job, right? An amazing job in helping me kind of push through. And I'm on the subreddits, and just even the idea of microdosing means that it's something that's actively happening. Something that's actively happening, right? People have schedules and they're doing it at set times. They have a plan. I don't need that. And it's something I realized. Like the one experience was enough to give me this drive and energy for, like I said, for 3 weeks. So yesterday was like my first real, it's like, I ain't doing shit today. That's being awake. That's being awake. When you no longer need the external substance to stay active, to stay motivated, to stay creative. I have some left. I think about doing it, but I'm in a good space. The energy's there. The creativity is there. The consistency has been amazing. The time management has been phenomenal these past few weeks. So what's the point? Why do I need it? On one aspect, I think that part of it is knowing that, I don't have a steady supply. So I want to be mindful and spread it out. But the true realization is that I just don't need it. I don't need it. It, at least for now, right? Like maybe it becomes something that I need you think about people who are creatives, people who are artists, right? Eventually you hit a dry spell where things just feel kind of stagnant. And then you re-up. Then you break through again. And like being a little congested and sick yesterday kind of put me in that headspace. I had a headache and I was like, man, I'm losing it. Woke up this morning and I was like, I'm losing it. Like I finished season 2. Like, all right, we good. Like, yo, I watched enough TV. It's time to move on. Man. Time to move on. Had a nice shower, had music playing. Cleaned up a little bit, made breakfast, and I was like, you know what, yo, I haven't done a video in a minute. Let me do that. Let's see what comes of that. Now I can self medicate, right? I can wake myself up, and I've been able to do that in the past. It's like, all right, like, enough, bro. You all right? You all right? It's enough. But again, it's just this overall awareness with everything happening, everything. I guess the flow of energy, the flow of creativity, is the flow of just, feeling good. It's like, yo, you got work to do, bro. You got work to do. You got work to do. You got work to do. So after this, I'll probably record some TikTok videos. I'm doing a series. I've done a podcast about this, the 10 leading causes of death in humans and how to avoid them. I'm doing like this fun series on TikTok, which has been dope. I've mixed in like some of my work. I've done some like workout clips. I probably won't do that anymore, but I'm doing like my running series. Start the day with yourself. That's like my thing, man. Every morning, not every morning, but most mornings, I wake up, I go read, I go for a run, I go for a walk. And if I go for a walk or run, I'll go to the reservoir. Just walk around, enjoy the sun. It's nice and quiet. It's really always just me there alone on the shore. Just taking it all in, man. Every morning, every day, every morning, every day. Try to start the day with yourself, right? Don't lean into the external. Validate self first. Validate your passions, validate your hobbies, validate your interests. The rest is always gonna be there. It's always gonna be there. You're not gonna miss anything that's out there. It'll always be there because other people are already doing it. But what you will miss is self-actualization, self-worth, self-value, because you're too busy consuming from others. It's part of waking up, right? When you're dreaming, yeah, you can control the dream, but you don't actualize and manifest the dream. You don't say, all right, tonight I'm going for an adventure. You just sleep, random shit happens, and you place yourself as you can, you control it as you can, but it's not yours to own consciously. But when you're awake, all of this is yours to own, to create, to manifest. And it's challenging, I know. And I always talk about how challenging it is. It's challenging on every level. The more you do it on those initial levels, the less challenging it becomes at the top tier levels, right? Now I'm not saying I'm on the top tier level, but being okay with just not doing anything for one day, like no guilt, no like, damn, I wasted it. It's like, hey, I've earned this. It's okay. It's okay. Being conscious and be like, all right, I've had enough. Time to move forward. What needs to be done? That's the only setback, right? At some point when you keep doing the work consistently, the only setback is, well, some of the setbacks, right? I've run out of ideas. I don't have any more fresh ideas, right? Writer's block. You stop, you pause, you mull it over, you do different things, try different things, and you find some creativity and inspiration, right? or you know, take some time for yourself. And at some point you say, I've had enough time to get back to what it needs to be, what it should be. So there's nothing wrong with the buffer periods, right? Going back to the Titans, going back to Dick Grayson. He was who he was. He just didn't know who he needed to be. He didn't know who he wanted to be. He didn't want to be Robin. He was a cop, but he quit the force. So the first 2 seasons, we're watching that buffer period where he just doesn't know what to do with his life. And I think the course is like maybe 2 or 3 months. And he has the luxury, right? You know, he comes from money, so he has the luxury to do that. Most of us don't have that luxury. But you make time in between, right? That's starting the day with yourself. Balancing it, right? Like there's days where I read, there's days where I run, days where I just go for a walk. And on the walks, I just record, just think things through, process. Then when I get home, some type of whatever beneficial and motivational energy that I pulled from that walk or run transfers into my day. Little by little, little by little. That's a buffer period, right? You're sleeping. Your brain is just on autopilot doing whatever it does. And you wake up. And do you buffer? Do you transition into more of the external influencing you and telling you what to do, telling you how to think, telling you how to feel? Or do you say, how do I feel? Before I establish how the world wants me to feel, right? Before I establish how friends on social media, the news, the president, war wants me to feel, how do I feel? How do I want to feel? Right? When I pick up I'm reading Nemesis by Isaac Asimov. I picked that book up for inspiration and to kind of escape. I want to feel inspired. I want to feel drawn into characters. I want to feel hopeful about the potential of humanity. That's how I feel some mornings. And my choice is to read the book to kind of fulfill that energy, to fill that void. Like on Monday, I ran 4 miles at night. Not at night, late in the afternoon. My back was on fire. But I paused and I pushed through because willpower, experience, knowing how to adjust, knowing my body throughout the years. I could deal with the fire. I know it's temporary. But it taught me to be mindful. Just how I move throughout the day. Don't sit all day when I'm running on a run day. Stretch more. One thing I also realized is that maybe I'm just not a evening runner anymore. In the past, I'd only run. In the past, I wasn't a morning person. I'd run 6, 7 o'clock late at night when it was cool. And, I was off from work. I didn't have anything to do. But I was also more active in terms of just walking around, taking the train, rarely sitting, walking around the market. Just found more ways to kind of keep my body moving and fluid and relaxed, get my muscles prepared. But since I work from home now, my body's more stiff. Sitting or standing, there's limited space to kind of move around. Like maybe evening runs just aren't for me anymore. Because by the time that run starts, I already have the weight of the day on me. So like I took Tuesday, I was gonna run Wednesday night, but I said, nah, I needed more time. I took Tuesday, Wednesday off, and I ran Thursday morning. I did the full. And that's the transition that works for me. And I'm gonna try. I'm gonna run later today and see how that goes. I gotta do 5 miles. I told myself I'll do 5 miles, but I don't know. I don't know if I have it in me, but I'm gonna do the work. Do the work as best as I can. Again, the buffer periods. You get to choose, man. You get to choose how you transition into the day, into the night. You keep working on those transitions until they just become part of the everyday experience or more. I follow this artist on IG, and I'm a mama, yo, how do you have time to draw like this? To draw in color, because it's just so detailed and beautiful. I'm like, damn, that's, poof. But I know it's just consistency and work. It may look like someone unskilled like me. It might look like 5 hours work for someone unskilled like me. But for someone who's been doing the artistry and the work for years, it might be an hour of her time, right? That might be her transition, right? She just might wake up and be like, all right, let me get this 8x11 piece of paper and just draw a whole scene and color it. And like, that's it. You find your buffer. I think that's what really allows you to wake up. You think about the usual transition in someone's life. You wake up, brush your teeth, wash your face, maybe get breakfast. You go to work. Then you're just like, just going through the motions. You're not awake. You're not awake yet. You didn't wake up. Because you're just still you're just transitioning movements until you end up at a place that you have to be. Need to be and have to be. And at some point, right, maybe you'll wake up and then you'll feel energized or whatever, or maybe you won't. And then the whole day is just a lull that you just go through. When I wake up, sometimes I wake up at 6 and I'm like, all right, I ain't going back to bed. What am I going back to bed for? I woke up. That's how, on most mornings, I wake up between like 6:15. And I wake up, I say, all right, let's do something. Let's do something, bro. I don't want to go back to bed for what? I already know it's there. I can rest tomorrow. I can rest later tonight. I'm awake. I want to feel awake. I want to feel alive. And those runs, those walks, reading makes me feel alive. Writing in the early morning makes me feel alive. I feel motivated. I feel inspirational. I feel good, man. I feel good. And sometimes we don't have those buffer periods because we don't give ourselves the space to create them, right? We just make the excuses. We want to sleep in. If I have to leave for work at 8, so if I have to leave for work at 8, I'm gonna wake up at 7:30 with just enough time to do all the basic essentials that I need to be out of here at 8. When I wake up at 7, spend a half hour on yourself. While you're spending that half hour on yourself, you transition, you do some of the small minor things that you need to do to help you start your day. And so essentially you kind of have a full hour, right? You just might have a full hour. You can make, I eat oatmeal every morning. I can make oatmeal while I'm reading. I can make oatmeal while I'm writing. I can eat oatmeal while I'm writing. We don't want to sacrifice those extra little minutes of sleep. We want to stay asleep, right? You want to, yo, this bed is comfortable. It should feel good. I got it. You want to stay stuck. You want to stay asleep. You want to stay asleep. If it's comfortable, because it's what you can control, and sometimes it's the only thing you have control over in your life. Because it's the only thing you allow yourself to have control over. Being in my bed for as long as I want to be. And what comes of you? What becomes of you? What have you provided to the world? What have you provided for yourself? Set that clock back. Set that clock back. If you usually wake up at 7:30, wake up at 7. Not having a half hour sleep won't do anything for you. Won't take away anything from you. Excuse me. But if you use that additional half hour to do something that you love and care about, something that adds value to your life experience, it can open up the possibilities to change everything and anything for you. You're always going to have sleep. Sleep is always going to be available. Being awake, that's limiting. That's rare, right? This life experience is rare. How many sperm per ejaculation, right? You are rare. You are rare. It's timeline, it's awareness. It's rare. Why you want to sleep so much? Yeah, you need to sleep to recuperate, repair, relax. That's fine. But do you need that much? Right? They tell you need 8 hours of sleep. They tell you need 7 hours of sleep. But they also, think about the average day, right? Say the average person works a 9 to 5, 8 hours of work. You get 1 hour break. And even with that, in most cases, either you're around people, you got to go to a store, you got to spend 15, 20 minutes trying to get food somewhere. So you wake up at 7:30. Wake up at 7:30. By 8 o'clock you leave. Commute for an hour. Get home at 6:30. Traffic even worse at night. Everyone's aggy, right? Bad people have bad days at work. So I'm gonna look that up to see if more accidents happen at the end of the work day than early morning. So let's say you get home 6:30. You gotta make dinner, gotta eat. It's like an hour of your time, right? So let's say by 8 o'clock, you're done. At 8 o'clock, you're done with all the responsibilities. Say you go to bed at 10. So you only have 2 hours in a day to kind of do what you want for yourself. And most likely, right, those 2 hours are spent in front of the TV, in front of a screen. Because this is your downtime. Like, I'm just going to relax. Man, I need to relax. this, right? Like I said, it's sociological theory, right? The time you think that is yours is the time that it's just allowed to you, so that you can return and be a cog in the wheel in the system. I can't wait to go home and just have a nice cold bed, kick my feet up, and watch Monday Night Football. And you do it, and you're there, you're excited, and you're watching other people succeed and live their dreams. Everyone on the screen is living their dream. Everyone on the screen is, I mean, for the most part, let's say the majority, right? I always gotta be objective. I don't want to give absolutes because I don't know that for a fact. But most people on the screen are living their dream. You're just watching them, feeding their success. Then you go on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. You're just arguing with people about them, fighting battles for them. What about your battle? What about your existence? You say you get to bed at 11, right? 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. How much of that day was for you? You woke up at 7. You left at 7:30. I mean, I'm gonna get this wrong because I know I messed up. I'm sorry. You wake up at 7:30. You leave for work at 8. You're in traffic for an hour. You get to work at 9. You go to lunch at noon. You come back at 1. You leave work at 5. You get home at 6:30. You cook dinner for an hour. Then you're just watching TV about 2-3 hours. What did you do for yourself in that time frame? All you really did was set the condition, going back to the sociological theory, to repeat tomorrow. So on Monday, it's Monday Night Football. Tuesday, it's I don't even know, man. It's an MLB game. Thursday Night Football. Wednesday's basketball. It's just me using like sports as an analogy. But everyone has their program, right? Every day of the week you have, today's my, they showing my joint tonight. They should Dancing with the Stars. I gotta watch that. My mother loved the Bachelor. Well, she used to love The Bachelor. I forgot why she stopped watching it. I think she said it's like like people just sleeping around with each other too much, and it's like too much drama now. I mean, she's retired also, so she can do whatever she wants. That's fine. And you go to bed and you sleep for 8 hours like they tell you. You repeat, and you repeat, and you repeat. Then it's the weekend, and I have 2 days. I gotta clean the house. I gotta catch up with friends and people. Oh shit, it's Sunday. I gotta go to brunch. I'm gonna spend the whole day out. I gotta run errands. Then it's 5 o'clock. All right, time to make dinner. Damn, it's 8 o'clock. I gotta go to work tomorrow. Damn. And that's just the cycle. You're just stuck in this cycle, in this lull, asleep. Because that's the condition that I've been saying that's the condition that the system sets. I just need like 5 hours of sleep, honestly. If I get 5 hours of sleep, I'm good. I went to bed at like 1 last night, woke up at 6. I'm good. Do you want to wake up? That's part of it, right? Like, is there an internal, like going back to like the rational mind, debate that Dick Grayson had with Bruce Wayne. Do you want to wake up? Do you want to get up and self-actualize, self-confirm, self-love, self-create, self-define? Do you say, you know what, I should get up. And to say, nah, I'm all right. Right? I'm all right. This feels good. I'm all right. What is the rational brain telling you? I talked about willpower a bit. That's part of it. Waking up is part of the willpower. Eventually, when you, like, there's like a breakthrough feeling. And I'm thinking about days in the past where I've had responsibilities I needed to honor, like taking my dental hygiene exam, for example. And I was just too depressed to get out of bed. And I was like, man, I'm going to fail. No one cares. What I'm doing this shit for? Waste of time, blah, blah, blah. And at some point, you just, like, yo, get up. Come on, yo, let's do this. But by then, it's too late. And for me, it was too late. They ain't let me take the exam. And I paid for it. I didn't even fight. I said, in my heart, looking back at it, it's just because I'm black. I know it was treated like that because I'm black. It's this computer exam. I can start whenever I want. It's my time. I do whatever I want. I just accepted it. I just moved on. Who cares? But being able to pull a cover, right? Pull a cover off. When you have those initial thoughts, that's the goal. When a rational brain is like, yo, get out of bed, bro. We got to do this. I'm supposed to be like, yeah, you're right. And I'm supposed to get up and do what I need to do. But we get caught up in our feelings, right? This feels good. There's nothing for me out there. There is. Whatever you want. Whatever you want to manifest and create out there, that's what's out there for you. You just got to make the choice. Sleep, sleep because in the death analogy, it's limiting, right? It's limiting. I don't have much. I think I'm good on that. Wake up. I mean, the additional point I'll add is that, we all have relative privilege, right? For me, getting access to those shrooms to have this awakening, it's a privilege. Being in a state where weed is legal, recreational marijuana is legal, it's a privilege. Having a park 10 minutes away, it's a privilege. And it's easy for me to have these breakthroughs because I have all these privileges. Being in New York, the weight was on me. And maybe that's part of the challenge, right? I need to find a realistic connection in terms of breaking through when you don't have the privileges. But it's all relative, right? The reality is that we all work with what we have. Right? You read stories all the time about a kid in like an African country, having some new technological innovation. You work with what you have. And if you're in the US, you have access to a lot. If you have the internet, you have access to a lot. You have access to information. And information is the base information is the base of privilege, I feel. You look up anything you want. You can get answers for literally anything you want. Your responsibility is to utilize that information and pass it forward. Create through your creation, through your passions, through whatever allows you to feel awakened. Information allows you to wake up, right? It educates you, allows you to be more aware of things you weren't hip to or keen to before. So it's all there. It's all there. The ability to wake up is there. It's just your responsibility to do the work, to pull that sheet off when you think about it. Listen to the rational brain. Sometimes you debate the rational brain. Sometimes you have to, right? Sometimes you feel what you feel and you feel validated in what you feel. But the rational brain has to win. And it has to win sooner rather than later. You can catch me on TikTok, like everything else, growth conditioning, redoing the website, and switching things up. Really looking forward to closing out this year. How I envisioned, but in a different new light. Not exactly how I envisioned. And actually, yeah, there were hopes that I had for this year that didn't fall through. But the overall vision that I had for how this year would close out, that's happening now. And that's what matters. Till next time, peace.